how do you improve the written artifacts? And second, as PM, if you are only expected to execute, how do you bubble these problems to the leadership? My question is that I also started off as an entrepreneur, ran it for 3 years, did it for 3 years, joined a competition. I had a good fortune to work as a technical platform product manager, building developer tool. Had a great fortune of working with US managers. One thing that came across from science background, they don't write really well. So I think especially in India. And this was something which was expected, and this was also some of the feedback I got. And we don't see a lot of formal courses around it. I think everybody is expected to write well after they graduate. But yes, this is one pain point. So, part one of the question is how do you improve the written artifacts? Very well written PRD can actually save you a ton of money. That's what I have also seen and observed. The second part too is that PMs typically in a little bigger teams, they're expected to just execute. I think a lot of this product decisions are made in the top leadership, and a lot of problems are not bubbled up over time. And second, as PM, if you are only expected to execute, how do you bubble these problems to the leadership as soon as you get it? And first of all, even if you bring it to the leadership, how do you ensure that they would be willing to listen to you? Yeah.
Okay, I could go 3 hours on these two topics. So let's go condensed. To start with, okay, so how do you improve your writing craft? So this is the one area that I think that I always got really, really good feedback on. Luckily for me as a PM, was that okay? You're a great writer. You're really good at writing. Like people would just give me like, okay, even my boss would say, just write our product strategy for me. So I think that probably I'm not the best person on how I personally improved it, but I did have to coach several of my PMs who I gave very, very similar feedback to, which was like, you're awesome, you're a great executor, the team loves you, but these documents, I can't go share this with my other director of product. I can't go say, oh, okay, Aman, he writes amazing PRDs. So I think that I was able to get several PMs over the hump. So the very first thing that I suggested to them was not only writing product documents. Because I think that there's a kind of this myopia that we end up having where you especially, it sounds like you care a lot about your career. And so then we just get into, okay, I want to get better at writing product documents. So start with writing something else, in fact. What are you passionate outside of product? So this person, with this specific person who I have in mind, actually, he was an Indian-based PM and I was a US manager. And so he happened to be very passionate about T20 cricket. And so I said, you need to start writing about this. And I want you to create, a daily blog where you write about this. And I want to see you grow this daily blog. And I think that honestly, of all the stuff I gave him, all the comments I gave him on PRDs, all the things, that was the number one thing that improved his writing, because he was so passionate about it, because it wasn't related to product management. And I started to see, one of the things he told me was I would write a whole piece and then I would take the last paragraph and I would move it to the top. That's like a very common writer's technique. That's what I use personally with my social media posts. I'll write the whole social media post and I'll just take the last few sentences, I'll put them back, and that'll be my hook, right? It's like just a very common thing, but all these basic writing things that you'll start to see. One thing that when we were handed, like, okay, write this 3-page PRD, here's the template, we almost try to put in too much content. When you start writing a blog about T20 cricket, what you'll realize is that people don't want a super long content. They want it to the point. You'll start editing your sentences. If you start writing and posting on tweets, you'll start saying, oh my gosh, to get to from 300 characters to 240 characters, I can just remove the word that everywhere. I can just remove the word very everywhere. So it'll start to improve your ability to write concisely, to take out all the fluff. I know we, as PMs, we're often looked towards to write, longer product strategies, longer feature results write-ups. But actually, good writing, it gets across the point very, very quickly. So that's my first thing, is like go to passion, and that'll help you. Also, the final tip I'll include in there is, people often write too formulaically as PMs. So basically, all their sentences will be of similar length, all their paragraphs will be of similar length, all their all their sections will be of similar length. It turns out humans really hate that. So if you look at my newsletters, you'll see like I'll have one sentence that'll be like 3 words, then I'll have a sentence that'll be 12 words, then I'll have a sentence that'll be 15 words, then I'll have a 1 word sentence, then that'll be 4 sentence paragraph, then the next paragraph will just be 1 sentence, then the next paragraph will be 3 sentences. So you'll learn as you write about passion and not product stuff, all these basic writing things. So that's the number 1 tip. Number 2 tip, find out looks like you work at delivery, who is the best PM who's writing the best documents, right? Who is the Aakash writer in terms of PMs? And that's the best person to become your best friend, right? And I personally, even though I was known as a good PM writer, if I had like a product review or if I had a really important PRD, I would always have a buddy who is a good writer who I would send it to. And you want someone who is reliable because, as we know, right, we're finishing these PRDs at 10 p.m. the night before it's due, right? So somebody who will actually respond to you, right? At 10 p.m. Okay, yeah, this is the problem here. 1, 2, 3. I didn't like this first sentence. So you also do need that buddy, right? And then the third thing is your own team. So here's the deal, right? Your designers and your engineers, they're on your side. They want to see you succeed. So also, before you publish the PRD, I like to do the co-creation. Same with my product strategy documents of co-creating with them. So really make sure you're booking that time. It's so easy to want to just write the product strategy and then publish it to the team. But instead, really co-create that with them and work with them and use their specific feedback so that before me, VP of product, is seeing it and giving you that feedback, your design partner is giving you that feedback, your tech lead is giving you that feedback. So these to me are the 3 most things that most helped people in my teams. But honestly, not writing about product stuff was the biggest